if you feel the want to test your audio and shit, because it's been a little while, you may.
Eyeballs, eyeballs, eyeballs. Big fat eyeballs, eyeballs, eyeballs. I just said eyeballs. All right, we're good.
Okay. You want to clap on 10?
Yes. Can you do it without your hands? Sorry, I ruined the clap. All right, do you want to do it on 20?
Yeah, let's do it on 20.
Okay.
Why? Can you do it without your hands?
No.
Oh, I fucked it up.
You fucked it up?
On 30? Yeah, let's do it on 30.
Okay.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another new episode of Anything But Politics. As always, my name is Jim Altman, and I'm here with...
Christian Roman. I was thinking new. When you were
We've never described an
Yeah.
episode as new. It's a new episode. Every episode's a new episode when it comes out, but this one is special.
Yeah.
Because
It's a very new episode because
it's a new year.
it's a new year.
This is our first episode of the year, so it actually has to slap.
Yeah, absolutely.
This has to be
Absolutely.
among one of our top 5 episodes of the year.
Oh yeah, and that
Are
amount
you
of
ready
pressure.
for that pressure?
Yeah, that amount of pressure will not lead to shitty conversations about nothing for an hour. Totally.
At least 15 minutes, but Seth
Yeah.
knows about that.
Yeah. And it definitely won't lead to us doing our absolute hardest to be funny and inevitably failing. But we got this.
I will mention this. I believe this is the first episode that's come out since... Though it's the first time we've been able to record since I learned Seth, who distributes our podcast, on top of editing it, he also uploads it to YouTube. I just make the thumbnail, title, description. I just do all that stuff. He actually uploads it after he edits it, and he does so on Anchor as well, which distributes it to Spotify, Apple Podcast. The thing is with the podcast now is you can put video on Spotify. So Spotify listeners, you might have noticed for the past 2 episodes, you can see us. Hello. Hi, Spotify. Which is most of our listening base.
Yeah.
Like 60% or more of our listeners, our watchers, of course, are on YouTube. But our listeners on Spotify, you can see us now. Which, let me say, this episode, I'm going to be looking to the side a lot because this is my camera, but this is where my screen is, and I like looking at Christian to make sure that I'm either being funny or not being funny.
I thought you meant because I'm so pretty.
Oh, you're also very pretty. During the 15 minutes that Seth is gonna have to cut because we weren't performing, we weren't doing the episode. We
were just talking. Super boring talking.
We were talking about our hair.
Yeah, we're talking about our hair. Talking about sleep and work.
Sleep schedules, work.
Yep,
yeah,
and soda, drinking soda and not drinking soda. We talked about finance. We didn't. We didn't talk about finance, but that's surprising that we didn't.
I'll probably talk about finances because let's open with this.
Yeah, let's go nuts. Go fucking bananas.
Let's actually open with, so it's the New Year's episode, Christian. What do you think I'm about to have be our initial conversation starter? New Year's
Trivia.
word association.
Oh, New Year's.
When you think New Year's, what do you want to complete it with? It's a
Cake.
New Year's
Day.
resolution, correct?
Yeah.
So
Year's
before
resolution.
asking what yours may be, I'll ask, do you do them? Do you
I do.
Are you the type of person to be like, you know what? Why not?
I do them differently though.
Tell me about it.
So I do because it's extremely hard to commit to something for an entire year, and no one really does it.
Oh, yeah.
So what I do is for the first month, I do a resolution, and if I really, really like it, I can adopt it into my life. And if I really don't like it, then I do a new one for the next month.
I like that because it leaves room for failure, which everyone should do.
Yep.
Because
and
failure
that way,
is oftentimes part of figuring out what works.
absolutely. And that way, if I do fail, I go, okay, that's fine. That one didn't work, but I'm not going to just completely not try to make my life better. I'm not going to just not do that. So I'm going to try something else to hopefully make my life better.
Exactly. Some people use New Year's resolutions as like, oh, I'm going to make my life better. And when they fail it, they just stop.
Yep. Oh, that didn't work.
Some people think New Year's resolutions are silly. Like, some people think the New Year, New Me mentality is silly. And while I don't back the idea of you being like, oh, I'm going to be an entirely new person, I'm going to change every aspect of my life and just be better. If the new year is what it takes for you to get the drive to try something you've been meaning to try or do something you've been meaning to do, use it. Use any excuse you have.
Yeah. Well, and like, it's arbitrary, yes. The difference between 3 days ago and 2 days ago is nil.
Nothing.
There's literally nothing different. Like, actually, like your day-to-day life. If you didn't read a calendar, you would have no clue that anything changed.
The literal only difference between the last little while is that you've had to buy a new calendar. Unless you have one of those fancy calendars that has like the first 3 months of the next year, but like really tiny.
Yep. Yeah.
No one uses that, right? They put that there. Here's the first 2 months of the next year. But they're always really tiny. It's like, you can't write a doctor's appointment there. You can't do that.
Nope. But yeah, so it is arbitrary for sure. But like arbitrary things can become things. Like they can
Yes,
become...
they can. They can be I thought they can become.
They can become. I'm trying to think of the words I'm in my head. Yeah. Things that are arbitrary can still have meaning attached. Meaningless things can be given meaning. Yeah, so New Year's can become things. You can make it into what you want it to be. It's like Play-Doh.
Absolutely. And with that being said, Christian, what would yours be?
Mine is for the month of January, I am cutting out fast food.
That's awesome.
So in October, I cut out soda and was like, I wonder how long I'm going to go without soda and coffee. I cut out soda and coffee. And I'm still on that. And I was like, okay, my health, I feel better. I feel a little more rejuvenated. I was like, what's next on the line? What's next in line? I decided fast food. I've been eating too much fast food. It's been a problem. And I don't even eat it because I enjoy it. That's the problem. I don't eat fast food because I'm like...
most times.
It's all
fast.
convenience.
It's right there.
It's right there. I don't have to do anything.
Make my meal for me.
Please. But it's so bad for you. And I'm wasting so much money. And
that's another huge thing is money.
Yeah. It's because
you can get like a 10-pack of chicken breasts from like your grocery store for the same price or less than like one meal. And you can make 10 meals out of that. Yeah, because nowadays I went to Wendy's. One of my last few trips to the fast food restaurant was to Wendy's. I know, waste. But I got a nice little, it was a new sandwich they had, and I really liked the idea of it. I vibe with Wendy's.
Oh, you made a face.
Yeah, I made a face because you were like, yeah, what a waste. And I was like, don't fucking disrespect
No, you made a face
Wendy
before,
like that.
You made a face before the waste.
What kind of face was it?
We have the receipts.
You were like, roll back the tape.
You were like, as if like that's a bad decision to do, like on one of your last fast food days to go to Wendy's.
No, that's fine. Love Wendy's.
No, I think it's
I don't love Wendy's. I vibe with them. They're like B tier.
That's actually a fair rating. That's a very fair rating. But yeah, so I went to Wendy's and I paid. It was like $11 for a meal. I was like, what the? No. I was like, I can't. That is unreal.
I can't justify this.
You can't justify it because yes, you are exactly right. You can get like 10 chicken breasts for like 12, 13. Because I did the next day. It's wild.
So while that's not a New Year's resolution for me, I do definitely want to do it more often. Wintertime is the hardest time of the year in this apartment at the very least, just because we don't have central heating. We have an air conditioner. We have space heaters. Yeah. The kitchen just gets so cold. It's almost like inhospitable. Like you just don't want to be in there. Yeah. Because there are these two, you can kind of see one behind me. This building is very old, like well over over 100 years old.
My God. And it's not an apartment. It was
Oh,
not
yeah, it was
insulated
never-
and created for an apartment
No.
use.
It was a bank. This used to be a bank. This used to be a lot of things, and it's all outside. I think they put up a plaque. This used to be a lot of things, and it's all outside. I think they put up a plaque. Anywho, because it's historic. This is a historic building. It's so old. But this window is taller than I am. How tall is this? Like 10 feet? It's like a 10-foot window. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those in my apartment. Just huge windows exposed directly to the outside.
Yeah,
So it gets cold really easy.
really fast.
We can cover them up. We have all the shades drawn.
It also gets very hot very easily. When I was over there during the
yeah.
summer, it got hot.
It's
Anywho,
ridiculous.
yeah.
Anywho.
The window.
With that, I have these huge windows, and it's so cold outside. So the kitchen is really inhospitable. You just don't want to be in there. It feels miserable. Also, mental health and lighting have a huge connect. They are very well interconnected.
Yeah.
If it is poorly lit, it doesn't feel nice to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the light fixtures in my apartment works. I light my room with lamps. I have like 4 lamps on right now.
Same. I
The
feel same thing.
overhead isn't wired right.
Yep.
In the kitchen as well. In the old bedroom, which is now our studio, that's a light. That works. But like, we have like 2 lamps in the kitchen. So I can do that in the summer. But when it's poorly lit and freezing cold,
Yeah.
fuck it. Oven pizza and fast food. Just for winter. And then when we get back to summer, I'll do a deep clean of the kitchen. And I'll be making food every night. Which we love doing.
I was about to say, y'all love cooking, so that helps.
Oh yeah, love cooking so much.
I've fallen in love with cooking.
It's so good.
It's really
It's
fun.
just something to do. It's like a little tiny ritual, and then it's like, man, you enjoy it more because you made it.
Yeah. Well, and like for such a long time, I just didn't know what to make. Like I didn't understand recipes. I didn't understand. But my parents started doing HelloFresh, and they sent me recipes. And so I go to the store, pick out what I want, pick out what I get for the recipes, and that's been
Jason
great. And
and
then it just,
Susie are bougie.
I'm sorry.
I said Jason and Susie are bougie.
They only did it to. My mom didn't know that you could just find those recipes online because she loves cooking and she knows how to cook. She's a good cook.
Yes.
And she was like, I want to learn new recipes. And so she started HelloFresh because she got a deal on it. Yeah. And she was like, and I'll just collect them over time. And then she found out, oh, you can just look them up online. And there they are. And she was like, I'm going to do that now.
HelloFresh recipes?
Yeah.
Wow.
Find
So
them
it's
online.
like, okay, so the only thing that is the huge perk is them sending you all the ingredients.
Yeah.
But, like,
Conveniently,
if you-
exactly the amount you need.
But like,
Their whole goal is to eliminate food waste.
that's
Because when you go and buy in
valid.
bulk, I'm about to have to throw away an entire stock of parsley because I only used a little bit, and I haven't really needed to use it much after. And it's a
I
whole
bought-
fucking stock. It's a lot of parsley, and it's used as a fucking. It's not used as like a let me cook up and eat parsley. It's just used as a. I keep wanting to say Danish, garnish.
Garnish, you got it. First off,
garnish.
you got it on your own. Very proud of you.
Thanks.
2, cut it all off the stalk,
Yes.
put it on a baking tray, and put it in the oven on low heat. Dehydrate it, make it dry. You know, parsley?
And I
like-
could make like little chips.
No,
Oh.
not
You got
like
me
not like
excited.
kale chips here. I'm talking about like dry it out, and
Yeah.
then like it'll crumble. And do you know like the spice rack that has like these dried herbs on it?
Yeah.
It'll
have
keep
some.
that way and it won't spoil. It'll keep
Oh.
because it's dry and dehydrated, and you can
So
just
where
have
can
like.
where can I find a little bottle to put it in?
Oh, do you have
At the
Tupperware?
store? I don't have Tupperware.
That's the problem with our generation. We're 20 years old and we don't own Tupperware.
Well, I
The
have
only
little...
Tupperware in my house was given to me by my mom, and I haven't returned it.
Yep. I have. Well, okay. So I used to have Tupperware, and my old roommate burned a bunch of it. Oops. Or it got super dirty and literally uncleanable. But no, I have these little glass. They're oh my god. When you food prep, they're food prep containers. So they're basically Tupperware, but not really. So that's been my excuse to not go get Tupperware.
Yeah, I have a bunch of like anchor hawking, like different side. Like it starts with like ramekins. They're like little glass ones, but they
Yeah.
still have a lid. And
Nice.
then like it gets to like the size of like a cup, and then like two cups, and then it gets to the part where it's like a whole ass bowl.
Yeah.
I got that for like Christmas because I love cooking.
Nice. Yeah.
Anywho, I wanted to
Anywho.
say
Yes.
that is your resolution. Is
Yes, what's
to
yours?
cut out fast food.
Yes, fully
And that's
for the
awesome.
month, and see if I adopt it afterwards. I think I'm gonna.
Mine was, and this all started because you made the joke that we talked about financial advice, which is something we do. And I'm
do.
not about to give any advice. Well, yeah, I am. My resolution is to keep on top of finances, and in doing so, I do so. I have a Google Doc spreadsheet. I have like an Excel sheet that I put what's coming in and what's going out, and I try my absolute hardest to stick to the 50-30-20 rule. With your income, 50% of it goes towards what you need. That's going to be your rent. That's going to be your grocery bill. That's going to be if you pay your own water and electric. It's going to be that. Car insurance, health insurance, the things you need to pay for. That should equal 50% of your income. 30% is the fun stuff. It's the stuff you want. If you're not spending money on stuff you want to be doing, why are you making money? Why are you at work? If not to enjoy it. So 30% of your monthly income should always go towards fun things you want to do. You shouldn't have to save to go to the movies. Like, enjoy your money. So 30% is things you want to do. 20% is savings. If you have credit card debt, first place you put it is to pay off your credit cards. Once all your credit cards are at zero, start putting it in a savings account or taking it out in cash and putting it somewhere safe. So I am sticking as closely to that as I can, and I have budgeted all of my due dates for the 1st through the 15th of every month, and then the 15th through the last day of every month. So like I know that my car insurance payment is on like the 15th, so it's on this paycheck. And my credit card due date for this card is on the second half of the month. And that's how I kind of do things. And I have charts and I have Excel spreadsheets, and I'm a huge fucking nerd about it. But
Hey,
it's because I like staying on top of my finances.
Yeah, I do too. How do I get an Excel spreadsheet? How much does it cost?
Don't bother with Excel. Do it on Google for free. So like Google Slideshow, Google Doc. There's a Google Sheet, and Google Sheets is just Excel.
And you do that on your phone or your computer?
Either.
Christian's about to download Google Sheets right now because I love spreadsheets so much.
Word.
But I
no. You could just don't
use
even
them.
bother with Google Drive. You can just get the Google Sheets app. So like I don't know if it'll show, but like there's a little bit of my like there's what it is, there's how much it costs. And then if I go here, here's my monthly 50-30-20 chart that I made.
Wow.
And then here's my monthly breakdown. So there's the 1st through the 15th, and it's 50-30-20, which doesn't end up being perfect. And
Right.
It won't, and that's
it
okay.
Won't, no.
Because during the first
it's a
half of
guide.
the month, I have rent to pay, and then my grocery bill, and then 2 credit card due dates. So because rent is on the 1st of the month, I'm going to have to spend more on my needs. But because I have less things that I need on my second paycheck, I'm allowed to spend more on things I want to do, and I'm allowed to save more. So that's what I'm doing. My resolution is to stay on top of my finances because I plan on doing massive things this year. I'm talking about by the end of this year, we're going to be living in a house. We're going to have our own place. We're going to have a mortgage. It's going to be a whole thing. I've worked way too hard on my credit score not to do something with it.
Hell yeah. Damn right.
What else here? We've got, might have to buy another big thing, which I guess this is a good time to talk about it. I'm going to wrap that thread up and say my New Year's resolution, finances. Staying on top.
Can I ruin your perfect segue just so quick because this has to do with Excel? It's not Excel,
sure.
but Google Sheets. I went to Google Sheets.
Yeah.
And it appears this is a little message to my mother. Hey mom, love you. Why are you using my account for your Google Sheets? I logged into Google
you
Sheets.
on your email already have a bunch of pre-made sheets, and it's all stuff Susie made?
Yep, it's all
Okay.
volleyball stuff. And also their annual budget. So, Mom, you might want to put that
Ooh.
on yours, not mine. Not give me access
Oh, wow. Interesting.
to that. Yeah. So,
Anywho.
anywho,
Yeah, that's nuts. So,
you cut out. What did you say?
it's okay. I was segueing.
Back
I
to
might-
the segue. Yes.
Aside from a house, I might have to make another big purchase. So, imagine it. You're driving to work. All of a sudden, your car starts like beeping, making that beep sound. And you're like, what? I'm low on gas again? But the beeping doesn't stop. And you're like, excuse me? And you look at your dash, and it's not the yellow light, like, oh, check your engine battery or something. It literally is the red flashing light, which is to indicate, pull over now, your car isn't going to make it. And it said low oil pressure. I said, what the fuck? So I pull over, I stop the car, I look up what it is, and it's like, oh, and it tells me all the things it might be. So I'm like, oh shit, my oil might be low. I think it might be, it's been a while since I've like changed my oil. Luckily, I work at Walmart. So I read it, and it said like you might be able to drive it a good couple more miles after the light first comes on, as long as it doesn't stay on. I turned on the car, that light did not come on. I drove it for a while, and I think it was on like the edge of being a problem, because it would come on and beep for a little bit, and then it would stop. And by a little bit, I literally mean like 5 seconds. It would like beep and stop. And then sometimes it would just beep once and then stop, and I'm like, the meter is like just tipping the point where it's like, it's a problem. No, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
We have enough oil pressure. You're literally oh god, the car. So I made it to Walmart safely, and I'm like,
Good.
hey, could I change my oil? And the guy there was like, do you need me to do that, or do you want to?
You should probably do that.
Okay, I'm gonna take the pizza out of the oven. I'll be right back.
Perfect, because I have to go grab my phone.
Seth, I'm so sorry.
Seth, have fun.
Go fuck yourself.
So I get to Walmart, and I ask the guy, hey, can I change my oil? And he's like, let me look at it for you. And he checks my dipstick, and the oil doesn't look too dark. What? What, dipstick? Are you laughing at? What are you laughing at? Christian! What are you laughing at? This isn't even the funny part.
I know, but
What's funny?
it was so. I know it's.
You sound like the fucking Joker.
I know it's called a dipstick. I know it's called a dipstick. And I'm an adult who can handle a word like that when it's the serious term.
Yeah.
But it caught me so off guard. Whew.
Okay.
Because it was just out of nowhere. Yep, he checked my dipstick, which just sounds so funny to me. And it's not, and it's okay. But at that point, it was less that I was laughing at dipstick, and I was laughing at how stupid I am for laughing that hard at dipstick.
I do that.
Yep.
I will chuckle at something and then laugh to the point of tears because
Yep.
I'm so stupid for having chuckled at the thing.
Yep.
So,
Anyway, my
anywho,
bad.
he checks my
Check your
dipstick
dipstick.
and he's like, the oil doesn't look too dark. Like, you don't need a full change, but you are definitely low. If you'd like, instead of paying for a full oil change, I could just put 2 quarts in it. And I was like, sure. So we put 2 quarts in it, we fill that sucker up, he checks it again, and it's fine. It's good. So I drive it home, the light does not come on. Gorgeous. Drive to work 2 days later. I go back to work, halfway there, light comes on. And I'm
never
like,
good.
what the actual fuck? And by the time I'm like half a mile away from work, it comes on and it doesn't go off. It keeps beeping. And I'm like, I literally have to get to work. Like, they don't fuck with attendance points at Walmart. Like, they do not fuck around with that shit. You're allowed to be absent, like, 5 times in half of a year. If you get 5 attendance points in 6 months, it is literally kiss your job goodbye. It's try to make excuses if you'd like. It's not really gonna help.
Yeah.
So I had to get to work. So I pushed the car, which is my genuine problem. And the car shut off. It completely broke down as I was on the exit ramp, which my Walmart, is off the exit ramp. It is literally like a skip away.
Yeah.
So I was able to coast. My gas and brake weren't working. Everything locked up. My car shut down. So I was able to coast into a gas station and like force my wheel to turn enough to where I could go into a parking space. I didn't give a shit. I didn't check the car. I didn't do shit. I put it in park, took out the keys, and ran across the road to Walmart. Made it on time, by the way. I got there and clocked in to the minute on time. So, hell yeah. At work the next day, I go to the guy that changed my oil 2 days before, and I go, car broke down, light came back on, don't know what happened. And he's like, you probably have an oil leak. And I said, okay. He's like, did you try cranking the car to see if it would come back on? I said, didn't have time. Let me go try. It started perfectly. Light did not come on. I drove it right across the street and noticed a new sound.
New sound unlocked.
You know when you were a kid and you'd put like a playing card with a clothespin next to your bicycle spokes so that it would like make the sound?
I don't know how to ride a bike.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know the spokes of a bicycle wheel? Like the little metal rods?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'd put a playing card in it and you'd like clothespin it to like a solid piece of metal that doesn't move, and as your bike rotated, the card would like bend a little bit from the wheel turning, and then the pressure would let it go. And it would sound like a little engine. Your bicycle would sound like a little motorbike.
That's pretty cool.
So, okay, not as cool when your car sounds like that.
Yeah, because it's not supposed to at all.
Let me remind you, my car sounded like that. So, it was cool. It sounded like it had an engine in it. So, I got it to the Walmart, into the automobile section. I drove it into the store to the section. No, I drove it to the garage part, and I was like, let me just do a whole fucking oil change. Let me just do that. And he said, okay. So he brought it in, and he does all the oil change, and then he comes out after, and he's like, hey, buddy, lot of oil under your car. Like, where it was leaking, and then because you were driving, it was blowing it back. It's, like, all underneath your car. You have a bad oil leak. You don't even have an oil leak. You have a bad one. I was like, where the fuck did that come from? Because, like, a week ago, I was fine.
Yeah.
Oil leak came out of fucking nowhere. And by nowhere, I mean it was 0 to 100. He said it was a bad leak. So, I was like, what do you think that noise is? He was like, I'd put money on it being a thrown rod. And a thrown rod just means when you have low oil pressure, things don't move the way you want them to in the engine. It's supposed to lubricate the engine and keep the pressure high enough to where everything is where it's supposed to be. When you have low oil pressure, a lot of things in the engine are just allowed to move when you don't want them to. So all your rods and cylinders have to be in perfect sync in order to fire correctly and function. The sound that you're hearing is because you had low oil pressure, it got off its track, it's hitting at the wrong time, and now because it's off track, the sound you're hearing is literally it bouncing around inside of where it's housed. It's just bouncing off the fucking metal and destroying the inside of your engine. The fix for a thrown rod is not a new rod, it is a new engine.
Oh my god.
You have like, what, 6 rods in most engines? Maybe 8, I don't know. I'm not a car guy. If I'm wrong, don't even fucking correct me. I don't want to learn.
Doesn't matter.
I've had so much car stuff. It doesn't matter. So let's say you have 6. If you fuck up one of them, new engine time. So a new engine is worth more than my car. So with the oil change, I said, okay, could I get it home? And he's like, yes, you could get it home. And I said, okay. I told him where I lived. I was like, even though I'm a couple miles away, he was like, yes, you should be able to get it home. He's like, just fix the oil leak soon. And I was like, why would I fix the oil leak if I'm going to have to trash the car? So I get it home safely. Luckily, I mean, thank God I got it home safely. And yeah, it made that sound the whole way home and it was really bad. My parents are out of town. So I'm like, yo, Dad, can I borrow your car? He was like, yeah. So luckily I was able to drive it to my parents' place, park it, take my dad's car and use it for a few days. So meanwhile, I'm trying to find a car. I'm looking at used car lots. I'm looking at everything I can online. And I'm talking to Noah because he's our resident car guy. And I'm like, Noah, would you come with me to a used car lot to make sure that I wasn't buying a piece of shit? I don't want to spend a lot, but at the same time, I don't want something that's going to give me the same problem by the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, what are you looking for? And I'm like, something cheap and something that works. And he's like, what about, hypothetically, a 2001 Nissan Altima? And I said, you're trying to sell a car. He's like, I've been trying to sell a car for a year. And I was like, well, this works for both of us. He gave me a good price on it. It's a good car.
What a man.
So we start getting everything in order. And I'm like, okay, I'll buy it. Before he leaves for his New Year's trip to Florida, I was able to get with him, and he was able to sign over the title. Let me think. All right, so he was going to sell it to me for $500 because it needed like 3 different repairs. It was a good car, and it was a good price, but like it just needed 3 kind of minor repairs, but if I did it all at once, it would probably cost a couple $100, and then I'd be good. So because the car was so cheap, the repairs, it would all cost a good round amount that I was ready to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So he signs over the title and everything, and I have it. Next day, I go to the county clerk, and I'm ready. I stayed awake because I was like, fuck it, I'm not going to go to sleep and then go before work the next day. I get home at 7:30 anyway, and it opens at 8. So I waited, and then when it turned 8, I left my parking lot and I went to the county clerk, which is actually only like a minute and 30 seconds away from my house, luckily, because I live downtown.
Yeah.
No one was there. Christmas happened on a Saturday, which means that federally, they can't observe it. They're already off on Saturdays. So where's their holiday? So they took Monday off to observe Christmas. It's like, bro, you got your day off. Saturday was Christmas. You didn't work. What are you doing today? Because tell you what I'm not doing, getting my car. So I couldn't do it that day. So great. Stayed up for nothing. I went back home and I went to sleep upset. Woke up feeling okay. Next day I go. But right before I go, I got the keys from Noah's brother because Noah was already out of town at this point. He left to Florida. Remember that.
Yes.
So I go to his brother's house and I get the key for the car, and I also get, what do I get out of it? Not the title, because I already had the title. The registration.
Registration?
I got the registration because the tags were expired and I needed to renew the tags before I drove it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the registration and the keys. And then in doing so, we tested out the car. Like, we just let it run a little bit. And one of the fixes Noah said was a problem wasn't a problem. I was like, wait, Noah said it needed this repair. And his brother was like, no, it doesn't. So immediately I messaged Noah. I was like, listen, it doesn't need this repair. And he was like, word? I was like, yeah, it's literally fine. It doesn't even sound kind of bad. Like, it sounds brand new. He's like, well, my brother might have fixed it. So if that's already fixed, do you want to renegotiate? Because our price was based off of it needing a couple $100 worth of repairs. So I said, sure. We renegotiated and we found a fair price. So I was going to go the next morning to the county clerk. So on the back of it, where we'd written $500, I just changed it to our new price, which was more. And then I went in, and at like 8:15, I finally got in, and I was like, here, I'd like to title this car. And she's like, all right, we're going to see Noah. And I was like, Noah's in Florida. Why do you need to see Noah? And she's like, the price here has been written over. It makes the title null and void. I was like, I get why that's a rule. Because if you sold the car for $2,000 and someone wrote $1,000, they're saving $1,000. They're saving $1,000 worth of the sales tax of that process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote over it. To make it more expensive. What fraud? That's opposite fraud. I should get a crown. I should be the king of not fraud. So I couldn't.
The king of not fraud.
I couldn't put the title in my name. So I'm like, fuck, I'm ruined. What do? I borrow the car from Noah. If I don't put it in my name, I can still drive the car.
Yeah, it's still a car.
It's still a car that drives. So I was like, Noah, I can't put it in my name. It's essentially just like I'm borrowing a car from you for a week. Are you comfortable with that? And he said, as long as you put it in your insurance and you renew the tags. And I said, absolutely. So I'm like, I'm not going to put it in my insurance until I know that the tags work. So I drive to like a self-service kiosk for changing the registration, which updates the tags and everything. I scan the barcode. And did you know that there's a whole process that you need to be in person for if you want to renew your tags more than 90 days after they expire?
Wow.
Before 90 days, you can just go to the self-service kiosk, scan it, pay, you're done.
They couldn't make an exception for a fucking king?
The king of not fraud.
The king of not fraud?
So...
That's so upsetting.
So I was at that kiosk and I scanned it because the plan was scan, pay, done. 3 minutes. Scanned it. It was like, yo, you have to do this in person at like a DMV or the county clerk because it's been more than 90 days since these have been expired. So I can't drive around with expired tags. I had to wait for Noah to get back, which I don't know if they're back. Are they back? At time of recording, are they back from Florida?
I think they might be back.
I think they came back today.
Yeah, because Seth was like, yo, what games are we playing tonight?
Yeah. So I think they literally got back at time of recording today. And all this mishap was days ago. So I'm like, I still need a fucking...
Yeah.
Hello? It's my dad. He's like, hey, I got home. I fixed your oil leak and I put some more oil in the car and I put high viscosity oil in it, like more than what your engine needs so that you don't get low oil pressure. I'm going to make your oil pressure higher, which is what your car needs because it's running low. So I fixed the oil leak. I did that. And I drove it around the block a couple of times. And he, after my second, third, and fourth opinion on it being a thrown rod, he's like, I don't think it's a thrown rod. Because if it was a thrown rod, it wouldn't be driving.
Yep.
It would be seizing the car like it did when I was on the off-ramp. My car would be locking up because a thrown rod means catastrophic damage to the inside of your engine.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, Dad, let me come try it out. Let me come drive it. The sound is quieter now, but it's still very much there. He was like, the tapping is coming from the top of the engine, not the bottom of the engine. So I'm not thinking it's a thrown rod. I'm thinking it's a valve issue. I'm like, okay, how much is that to fix? He's like, oh, same amount, pretty much. But it's not going to destroy the car. It's just going to be ever prevalent.
Yeah.
So
it gives you some time to get a new car.
Yes.
But you still have a car. Yeah.
Yes. Just one that might break down at any second.
Hey, you know?
And in terms of like trade-in value, just doing that increased the trade-in value probably by like $300-400.
That's awesome.
So that's what's been going on for the last week.
Hey, dude. That's a happy ending. Usually, stories like this, it's just bullshit after another.
It's an ending.
It's a happy...
It's
considering
okay.
Considering what it could have been...
Okay, yes. Considering what it could have been... Oh!
It's so fucking frustrating, and it's bullshit, and all of it is bullshit, but it definitely could have been a lot worse.
You talked about your nice landlord. When I didn't have Noah's car, and I didn't have my car because Dad hadn't done the oil leak, my landlord let me drive his car to work.
What a man.
Which is like 20 miles away.
Yeah.
Like, it's a drive. Like, I have to get on the interstate to get to work. It's a 20-mile...
Yeah.
It's a 20-minute drive. So it might be like 25 miles.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of ways. And he let me do it. So, big ups to him.
Big ups to your landlord. What a guy.
Big ups to landlord. So yeah, here it is. Oh, that's funny. You know the sound I made with this?
Yeah.
Okay, this is the title. It was the closest thing to me on the desk.
That's so funny.
So yes,
How poetic.
I've just got to make the decision whether or not I want to just go ahead and keep my car because it's not getting any worse, but it's also not getting any better.
Yeah.
I got to choose between that and still continuing to buy Noah's car. I could always not buy it and just keep driving mine. Because the purchase was never complete because I couldn't legally do anything.
Right, right.
So Noah's fine if I don't. He just wants to know. And I'm like, give me a week or two. Let me, let's all do a test drive. Me, Noah, Mimi, and Dad are going to go on a test drive of both cars and figure out which has the most longevity at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which
this
one's going to
car's
make
a 5
it through?
speed, by the way. I don't know how to drive stick. I will have to learn to drive stick for this car.
Yikes.
You
fun.
can learn stick in like a week or two.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Especially
it's not
when you
hard
have
for me, I know.
to.
Yeah, when it's dependent on like everything you do in your life, you can learn something pretty quick.
You can learn stick pretty fast.
Yeah, pretty fast.
I would be able to drive my car to work until I learned stick well enough to go on the interstate and such.
Yeah.
But it's just been thing after thing after thing after thing after thing.
That's ass, man. I'm so sorry.
So I've spent a couple $100 on a car I don't own and another car that might break down at any moment. So it's a lot and it's really funny now, but I was so upset.
Dude, car things are something I've found in my adult life is the two most frustrating things that could ever happen to you in the world are car situations and living situations. Because it's one bullshit thing after another. Nobody can ever fix a problem.
I've been in the living situation thing as well.
It's ass, man. I'm in one right now and it's pure ass cheeks. I hate it. My AC unit is fucking leaking into my air filter area. There's just a big tub of water that every once in a while just pours out of the air filter. It's great. My air filter is ruined. I paid like $30 for it because it's the most expensive one because the air quality in my apartment is ass because everyone smokes. And the previous owner were dog owners. And so just the air is horrible in this apartment.
Yeah.
And so, yep. So now that thing's trashed. I'm just using it because I can't fucking put it in a new one because that one's just going to get trashed anyway because it's still fucking leaking. I turned off the AC unit. So the AC unit is off. So that helps a little bit. It leaks less, but it's still leaking a little bit. And now my AC unit is off. Just in case you didn't know, it's January and it's 35 degrees outside. My apartment is almost sub 60 degrees. It's so cold in here.
But don't you like it cold? Don't you like it a little over 60 degrees?
I love it at like 66. I like a good 66. But it is a fast, like once you get below 66, it starts getting uncomfortable really fast. And I think it's 62 right now. Last I checked, it's 62. And I'm starting to get that thing where like my throat's getting cold because I'm breathing in such cold air.
But you go from comfortable cold to uncomfortable cold
so fast.
66 to 62.
66
That's 4 degrees.
64 is actually starts to get like I'm not feeling like I'm shivery. But 66
You're talking,
is like
your comfort zone is 2 degrees from unbearable cold.
But I also don't mind it at like 69.
Nice.
Like I'll be honest, like most of my day is spent at like 67, 68. But like for nighttime sleeping, I like it at 66.
A sweet 72 and I'm vibing.
Oh, I'd kill you. That's where all my friends are. All my friends are like, no, I need it at least 70. Dude, I'd kill myself. I can't stand that.
Nice
heat.
and toasty and warm.
No, that's sweaty.
It's
I get
so
sweaty.
good.
Fuck
Sweaty.
that, man. I'm New Hampshire blood. I can't handle that heat.
I'm Florida
awful.
blood. I need it.
That's fair. That's fair.
We definitely come from the two
Yeah, we do.
two different places on that one.
62 is fucking cold. I don't care who you are. 62 is fucking cold. And I hate it. I hate it.
How long
We're
have
at
you been recording?
We're at 105. I know.
A bit of it was unusable.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
do you
the
want to
beginning was
finish
pretty
on my
much unusable.
shoes?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I'm sorry.
cut
I
that.
need you to say that sentence one more time.
What did I say? Do you want to do my shoes?
Nope, you said-
My shoes.
I said, do you want to finish on my shoes?
You said, do you want to finish on my shoes? And
No.
Jim, no, I do not. I do not want to finish on your shoes.
So you are well aware that since I started working at the age of 16, I've only ever worn one type of shoe.
The same fucking pair of shoes.
The same pair of shoes. The day we met, I was wearing the same pair of shoes. Not the same pair of shoes, but the same brand and style. I've owned 8 to 10 of these pairs of shoes in the last 5 years.
That's so ridiculous. But I
like them.
I get it. Yeah, you like them.
I think I've discussed it on this show. You know the movie Mr. Magorium's Wonder Emporium?
Yeah, of course.
He bought a lifetime supply of the same pair of shoes, and when he ran out of his last pair, he died. That's a plot point in that movie.
That's wild.
Like he has an apprentice that runs the store with him, his like magic toy emporium, his toy store, and he's talking to her and he's sad and he goes, "When I was a young man, I was traveling and I found these pair of shoes that fit so well and fit so perfectly and I fell in love with them, so I bought a lifetime supply. These are my last pair." And he's like, "I'm dying. I'm going to die." And then he does. So, great movie. Dustin Hoffman, Natalie Portman, Jason Bateman, super fucking talented cast, amazing soundtrack. Go watch one of my top 3 favorite films of all time.
He couldn't have maybe stretched out a couple of those pairs a little bit longer. You know,
here's my thing.
When did he start throwing them out? Did he throw them out when there's like the fucking sole was ripping, or did he throw them out when it's like, it's a little discolored and there's a little scratch? Like, when was he throwing? If he knew that he was gonna fucking die on his last pair, don't you think maybe he'd be like, the entire front of the shoe is missing, but I can manage. They're sandals now.
They're sandals now.
Yeah, these are just my new pair of sandals. Yeah, it fits perfectly.
So it's really funny, and you might laugh at this. This isn't intended to be funny, but sometimes
I laughed at Dipstick. So
when I notice that a pair of shoes is going poorly, I'll go ahead and buy the other one preemptively. Which means that at times, I will, as a shoe falls apart, I will wear a pair of the old, and I'll go ahead and just replace the other one. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm wearing a pair of shoes...
No, I don't know what you're saying. That's psychotic. That is psychotic. What?
So, Christian, currently taking it off of my right foot is the newer shoe. This is what it's supposed to look like. I started wearing this shoe brand new like 2 or 3 weeks ago. You can also already see that the tread is wearing down. This is the shoe that was on my other foot.
Is that duct tape?
No, that's the inside of a shoe.
Jim,
You can
how
see
do you
my little,
handle that?
Wait, you see my little fingies in there?
They just stick out?
They just, yeah.
You wear that?
I was. Ugh, there you go.
Wow.
Got to keep the insoles.
Absolutely. Hold on. Because on the topic. You ever pull one of these?
Actually, I've not done that.
It doesn't work great. But here's I actually think it would have worked better. But the issue wasn't that like the issue wasn't that like this part was coming undone and it was peeling back. The issue was I stepped on a nail and it went through the shoe. And so there was a hole in the bottom. So I was like, well, let me just duct tape it up. It's not comfy. It's not comfy at all. It doesn't really do anything. And then your foot gets stuck to the shoe. But no, these were my basketball shoes, and like the bottoms, like you can't even see. They'd completely lost all tread. The bottoms were peeling. But I go through basketball shoes like once every 2 years. So I wanted these to last as long as they possibly could.
I'm gonna start going through shoes like no one's business. I work 5 days a week, average 4 weeks a month, and even though I've worked 2 months and maybe 2 weeks, like 2.5 months, I'm just going to say 2 months.
Yeah.
So that's 20 work days a month multiplied by 2 months. That's 40. 40 days I have worked at that Walmart.
Jeez.
If you look at my health app, If you look at the app that tracks my steps,
Yeah.
I'm walking about 8 to 10 miles a night.
That's ridiculous.
So let's make it 9, right? I've walked 360 miles in 40 days.
Would you walk 360 more?
Yes, just to be the man. So, yeah,
good.
with that, if you go to the r/Walmart subreddit, I think the first pinned comment is, hey, if you're a customer here about to complain about shit, just fucking don't.
Yeah, we don't care.
Yeah, we don't fucking care. This is for Walmart employees, not customers to bitch. So maybe back the fuck off. Like, it's very brutal. Like, the pinned post is literally like, fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Piss off.
As it should be.
So you can search subreddits. You can search within the subreddit. So I did r/Walmart, search shoes. Hundreds of posts from employees. What shoes do I wear? What shoes should I use? I'm running through shoes like crazy. What do I need to buy? Because people's shoes were falling apart every other month. Which is what's been happening to me. My shoes are falling apart. This looked like this when I started. When I started at Walmart, this shoe looked this brand new. This is 2 months.
That's wild.
So there are even more comments on each of the hundreds of posts talking about the best shoes for walking 10 miles every night, which I do.
Yeah.
My feet are constantly in pain.
Yeah.
But it's getting better since I've worn my insoles and since I got a foot massager for Christmas.
Ooh,
I'm doing a lot better. Oh, I'm doing so much better.
I have a foot massager. It's helpful.
It's really good. It's really good.
It's really good.
So I got some New Balances.
Break them out, baby.
And this hurts me just because this is like the first time in 6 years.
Yeah.
Let me show you this one.
Wow.
So
those are fresh, though. Those are fresh.
They're kind of a little fresh. I've never understood shoe culture.
I
like
love
people
shoe culture.
that like will clean their sneaks, and I'm
a
like,
big
those
shoe
are
head.
sneaks. You're gonna step in mud later. What are you
Yeah.
doing?
I don't clean shoes, but like, I definitely am a big shoe head. I have like 13 pairs of shoes.
These are trail shoes.
Nice.
These have like memory foam inserts, and it already has an insert. I might take this out and put mine in, just because I think mine is like more supported and like orthopedic.
Yeah.
But like New Balance, like comfort insoles.
Hell yeah.
You know what? I'll keep them just in case.
Just double them.
Stack them. The infinity inserts. But yeah, they have the arc support, they have the memory foam, a little bit of shock absorption. So it's shit I need because my feet.
Yes.
Right now, I've been sitting down recording this podcast the whole time. My feet just hurt, man. Like they just right now. I'm sitting down. I have no pressure on them. They're in pain.
They're in pain.
So hopefully these treat me well.
What kind of foot massager do you have?
It was one that they were selling at Walmart, and I bought this one particularly because I worked on Black Friday. I was working at Walmart when they opened the doors, the floodgates on Black Friday. So Walmart was like, man, you risked your life. Here's money. So they do like an employee discount, like a one-time redeem this barcode at checkout for like 15% off an entire order. Like you can buy your groceries, you can buy clothes, anything furniture. Fuck it. Like buy $1,000 worth of shit.
Holy
Scan
fuck.
that code. You're good. I literally told my mom, I was like, give me your shopping list. So mom went shopping with us.
Nice.
So like we all got everything together, and I got this because it was like over $100. So I was like,
oh, so it's a good one.
Ahead. Yeah, like you insert your feet into the machine, and then it does two things. It does three things. The heat is, it's okay. It's heat. But it rolls the bottom of your foot with like little roller balls, and then my favorite is like it's like a blood pressure cuff. It squeezes.
Yeah, it squeezes. Oh.
That's
I have one. I have one just like that, and I was wondering, like, I don't use it super often, so I was going to say, if you had a shitty one, I would be willing to trade. But now that I know you got a good one,
Aw, that's very
yeah.
kind.
Oh, I mean, I rarely use it, and like, it was given to me by my mom because she was like, sometimes your feet hurt, and I was like, yeah, and
I
she got
use
a full-on
mine
chair, so
daily.
Yeah.
I use it every day because I have to.
yeah. I usually only just use it after a workout or after I play basketball, because
Word.
because my issue at work isn't my feet, it's my hips and my back.
Because you're driving, you're sitting a
driving.
lot.
Yeah. In fact, my hips really hurt right now. But can I tell you something funny that happened, and then we'll end on this?
Yeah. What? Now we're not finishing on my shoes.
Oh, I thought you were done with the shoes.
Yeah, but we were gonna finish on my shoes.
Oh, you're joking.
No, go ahead. What's up?
So, you just said we're gonna finish on the shoes. Okay, so Leah, this is so ridiculous. So, for those of you who don't know, New Year's was a few days ago. You should know that, but for those who don't, New Year's was a few days ago, and I was at work. I was working the night of New Year's, which sucks because usually I'm home before 12. But of course, on the one night I'd love to be home before 12 and go see my lovely fiance, I had to stay. Mm-hmm. So it's like it's 11:58, and I'm driving back to the store, and I'm about to finish up closing, and at 12 o'clock, I get a text from Leah that says Happy New Year's, and I was in the middle of washing dishes, so I couldn't get to it. So I just like, oh, that's nice. I'll text her in a second, and and then I get 2 more texts from her, and I was like, what in the world? And I look at it, and it says, sorry, this is not funny, but you'll understand in a second. It says,
I think I might know something that you're talking about, because I think you explained it to someone in the Discord, and they privately messaged me and said this is why he's not gaming right now.
Oh. Yes. Okay. So yes. So Leah says, hey, my apartment complex is getting shot up right now. It's not funny, but just give me a second.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not funny. So it's not funny. But I was like, oh my God. So I opened it up, and on the New Year's text, she had sent fireworks. And so I opened it up, and I had AirPods
then
in.
you read the first thing you see.
The first thing I see and hear is fireworks.
Did you explain this to her and how funny that is? Yeah. Good.
She laughed so hard. Dude.
Mimi doesn't know this. I didn't tell her. Leah's apartment complex got shot up.
Yeah, that's why we're laughing.
That's why we're laughing so hard. No, but it happened on New Year's Day.
Which
so
is
she
so
sent
funny.
Christian Happy New Year's iMessage. And then she texted him, said, my apartment complex is getting shot up. And he said, excuse me? So he opened his phone then. He was still at work, so he didn't open the phone for the New Year's text. He was like, I'll message her in a minute. She texted him again, my apartment's getting shot up. And he's like, what the fuck? So he opens his phone. Well, you can send messages with effects. So the New Year's message was sent with fireworks. So he opens his phone, and the most recent text right there at the bottom says, my apartment complex is getting shot up. But his screen is being filled with just explosions.
Dude, it felt like something out of a fucking TV show. I could not believe how funny that was. Like, that doesn't just happen so many things had to happen in perfect constellation, consequential,
Imperfect.
The perfect succession? In perfect succession. Yeah. I guess that works.
Yes.
For that moment to be so perfectly comedic. It was beautiful. Jim, I laughed so hard. And I didn't want to explain it to my manager, but he was like, why are you laughing so hard? And I was like, long story.
My fiance's apartment complex is being shot up.
Yeah, I had to tell him, I said, Manny,
Can I go home?
Yeah, I was like, I need to go get my fiance because her apartment complex is getting shot up. This is after I just died on the floor laughing. And he's such a great person because he was like, yeah, go ahead. Some drivers literally just are like, I'm not making any money. I'm going to go home. And they'll just go home.
You're not that type, though. You'll stick around till close if you're able to.
Always. I am now the official closing driver. I close every night. But he was like, sure. And he was a little upset, I could tell. But I went back the next day and he was like, hey, I thought you were lying to get out of work. But we missed our truck because there are police all over the... And my landlord's here. Sorry, bro.
Hey, you're fine.
He brought space heaters, so I will be warm tonight. And
Oh,
yeah, it
yeah,
is at
I
62.
mean, like- It's at 62 right now?
Yeah.
Grody.
So, and hopefully they come to fix the unit tomorrow because I just the leaking is so bad. Anywho, oh my god, where were we?
Your job. You're the official night closer.
Oh yeah. So I told because Manny came to me the next day and was like, "Hey, I thought you were lying to get out of work last night, but we missed our truck because there were police all over the roads right where you said there was a shooting." So he was like, "I'm sorry if I was upset. If it seemed I was upset with you last night." I was like, "Yeah, no problem." I love my
lied
bosses.
to get out of work before.
Oh, I mean, I lied to get out of work. I've done it multiple times. I haven't so far.
What's the
so
worst
far at this
excuse
one.
you've ever used?
Oh, death in the family. It's so rude to do, but it's so easy.
And it's so easy.
It's so easy because they're not gonna like clarify. They're not gonna
Which
ask
family
you
member
questions.
do you kill? Who do you kill?
I always kill my grandpa.
Really? It's easy because they're
Yeah.
old, right?
Yes.
See, I don't have a grandpa because my family is so old that like all of them died before I was born.
Do you have to tragically kill a young member of your family?
No, because my dad is old.
Oh wow!
I
you
don't
gotta go.
kill him. I've never killed my dad. You know how hard that would be?
No,
He's had a couple heart attacks.
It is actually surprisingly easy to kill a person. Not
Oh, yeah,
morally
just-
and not legally, but like if you wanted to kill and you didn't care about consequences, it's so easy to kill a person.
Wait, are you talking about a verb kill right now? Are you talking about like an actual like it's easy to kill someone?
No.
Stop that. We're talking
No,
about
it is.
lying.
Oh, lying. Yeah, it's super easy to kill a person.
I look weird with these shoes on.
You don't look like Jim.
Babe, I got shoes on.
If I met you and I saw you wearing those shoes,
She grimaced. She looked at my feet and she grimaced.
it's not right. You're not the man I married. Wow, that is so strange to look at.
This is weird to look at? Why?
It looks like it should be. Why is
How
this
does
weird?
this look weird? Are you uncomfortable?
No, it just looks like that should be somebody else's leg.
How do you know
That
it?
does not.
How do you know it isn't?
Someone else just pops out of frame. I'm impressed at how flexible you are. Because I didn't know that prior to just now.
Let's not give them more than they already create in their own heads.
Oh my god. But yeah, so that I thought that fucking story was so ridiculously hilarious that you can't make shit like that. Like you wouldn't think to write that in like a TV show or a comedy sketch or something like that.
Word.
Like that
I
just
know exactly
is
what you
so
mean.
yeah, it's so ingrained in life that just shit like that happens. Anywho, we're at 1:30,
New Year's,
so
man. How much has already happened?
wow. Yeah.
Look at us. This is our first episode of the year.
Yep.
The year is not but 3 days old at time of
3
recording.
days.
And listen to all that's fucking happened.
Yeah.
I think we're in for a hell of a year.
I think it's going to be I've already gotten the inklings of like 2022 is going to feel like a good year. And yeah, I've
You
felt
know
that
how-
for 2021 and 2020, but I feel like this year's different.
Yes! 2020 was the first time in my life that I said the words aloud. 2020 is going to be our year. Mimi and I were like, this is our year.
Yep.
And then 2020 happened, and then we were like, okay,
This is nobody's year.
2021. And
Yeah.
then that happened.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I've felt comfortable since 2020 happened. Like, 2021, neither of us were hopeful.
Yeah.
Like, we said we'd try, but like, we
Yeah,
didn't
we're going to
have
do our
much
best.
faith. We'll do our best.
Yeah.
This is the first time I feel comfortable being like, fuck, everything else. I'm tired of things being out of my power, out of my ability to change. If it's out of my ability to change, I'm going to stop focusing on it and stop fucking with it. If it's something I can remove from my life, if I can't control it, but in order to gain control, I can lose it instead, I'd rather lose it than have it but be unable to control it.
Yep.
I'd rather just, so purge it from my life, control what I'm able to control, and start doing things for us. We're going to get a house. We might get a new car. We're going to set things our way. So
yep.
I'm excited to see where we record the last episode of this year.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. What a thing to say.
We want to give, for the first time this year, a huge thank you to absolutely everybody who is still watching. If you watched last year and you're still here, damn.
Wow.
A huge thank you is given to you. And an extra special thank you to Miller, Kansas, Jamie, and Aurora, 4 people who donate monthly to keep this show going and to financially support us. And that means massive things when you're talking about all the growth that me and Christian have been planning for the upcoming months.
Sorry.
If you're able to and would like to, you can go to anchor.fm, that is anchor.fm/anything but. It'll bring you to our homepage where you can hit the support button and sign up for these monthly donations in tiers of 99 cents, $4.99, or $9.99. And if a monthly donation isn't your steez, we do have a PayPal link in the bio for more like a one-time thing. I always say bio, but I mean video description. That is on Spotify and YouTube the like. The episode description has this link in it for these one-time donations if you're able to and would like to. Other than that, I want to say a huge thank you to our producers, Salty Sloth Productions. I forget if I thanked you in the last episode or two, but they're also in the episode description. I think there's a link to their website that I created. I didn't create it. I refleshed it. Everything that looks good about that website was me. No, but there are some incredibly talented people doing some incredibly talented things. So if you're just into art and media, go check them out. They're great. And they're producing us. So love you guys. Other than that, I'll thank Mimi for agreeing to not make noise for an hour, which is such bullshit. I'm sorry that you have to do it, but for these Discord episodes, you gotta make sacrifices. So I'm gonna go eat dinner. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day whenever you're listening, or amazing rest of your night. And hey, an amazing rest of your year. We will be seeing y'all next time. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Peace.
Bye. Remember to say something funny.
Yeah, we got
Good.
Yeah, we'll say something.
My biggest fear is like one of us just like clicking end.
It'll happen at some point.
No, eventually, for sure.
Yeah.
I have had a pizza sitting on top of my oven for like 20 minutes. Word? You dipshit.